Yo, what's good, man? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about storytelling. Now, I know storytelling is boring and it's not the latest lens or gimbal camera, you know, all the stuff we lust for on a YouTube platform, but this is what keeps people into videos. Now, I'm not gonna act like I'm a storytelling guru. I'm not gonna act like every single video you ever make in your lifetime needs to have a story. But there will come a time when you need to tell a story, and I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm gonna break this down into 3 different sections, and I'm gonna go over these sections in depth, tell you all the things that you absolutely need to make a compelling story. Every film that you've ever watched and loved, every book that you've ever read and loved, every video that you have watched and loved has had some sort of character. So every single story has to have a character, and these characters have to have some sort of humanity. This is what is gonna connect the viewer to the character and make them want to watch the character get all the way through their journey to obtain what they're trying to get in the story. You absolutely must connect the viewer to the character in some kind of way. Some form of the viewer rooting for the character is necessary. So make sure to do character development early on in your story. You have to quickly identify something that will get the viewer connected with the character. Show the little details about the character that will matter, that will stand out, and get people hooked onto the character early on. So this is exactly what you want to do when you're making a story. Now, another thing that this character must have is a desire. They have to want something. If you have a character who does not want anything, it's not a story worth watching. So make sure early on you identify with the viewer the little details that will make them care about the character and also what the character cares about. And make it so that this character cares so much about this thing that the viewer cares about this thing. Once the viewer likes the character and the viewer likes what the character is desiring, then you have a viewer's investment and they're down to watch your entire project to make sure that this character gets exactly what they want throughout this journey of this story that you're gonna be telling. If you don't have a conflict, you don't have a story. Nobody wants to watch a story where everything goes right the entire time. We have to have some sort of hill to climb up and then hits the fan, and we need to see how this character is gonna overcome this conflict. So you absolutely must have some sort of conflict in your story. Now, when it comes to conflicts, there's 2 kinds of conflicts. All right, keep this in mind. The first is an internal conflict, and this is what the character has to go through within themselves to achieve the goal. The second is an external conflict. What in the world physically is in their way of achieving this goal that they're trying to get to? Marry these 2. Once you have an internal conflict and an external conflict, you have the best story in the world. And you can look back to any film that you absolutely love. The character has some sort of emotional internal conflict, and they also have a physical conflict in front of them, preventing them from getting to the goal that they're trying to get to. All right, marry these 2. Then you have an incredible conflict for a story. We need to know the place, we need to know the time, we need to know who has the power. Let the viewer know early on what are the parameters of the world that the character is in. Now, in order for you to identify these things, there's a couple questions that you can ask yourself. What are the rules of the character setting? And this can go so many different ways. If you think about all the films that are in the world, like you go all the way towards like the sci-fi world where we got like Mad Max, and you think about the rules of that world, and then you think of like the rules of like Cinderella, and it's just like, this is such an interesting question. All right, so ask yourself that question. What are the rules of the world that the character is in? The second is, who has the power? Who has the power in this world? Who is the supreme ruler of this world? And I know that that sounds super big, but you know, some stories will require a super big person who's in power, all right? So who has the power? The third thing is, who or what does the character see? This is important. You know, when we're telling these little stories that aren't as big as feature films, maybe you're just making a story about your mail delivery man. You know, covering what and who they see on a daily and the sort of things that they see throughout their perspective of being a character is very important. All right, so this is a very important question. The next is, what do they hear, smell, or feel? You know, this is important. You know, this is how you can really immerse the viewer into the world that the character's in. And the next question is, are they attached to this place? And if so, why? And if not, why? This is a very important question as well. This is something that you can form into your story to give the viewer the context of exactly where the character is in it. A feel like I totally butchered that sentence, but you get what I'm saying. Now, those are the 3 things that every compelling story must have. Now, the next thing I'm gonna get into isn't necessarily into storytelling, but it dramatically enhances storytelling, and that's sound. And I know you're probably thinking like, yo, what does sound have to do with storytelling? But if you think about it, it creates an entire immersion of the viewer into the world that the character's in. And that's a perfect time to bring up the sponsor of today's video, SoundStripe. Now for me, whenever I need sound effects and sound design for my videos, I go to SoundStripe and I download whatever sound effects that I need. I love SoundStripe because not only can I get the sound effects that I need, I can get high quality tracks for my video, my story, my visual story that I'm gonna be telling. And I can also dial that track in a lot more by using the stems on the website. So say I'm going through a very emotional place in my character in my video, I can take out the bass, I can take out the drums, I can take out the snares, and I can just keep the symphony, or I can just keep the vocals in the track. And it just allows me to dial in the song exactly how I need it for that particular moment within my video. Now SoundStripe is great because it's affordable. They have amazing tracks, they have sound effects, they even have stock video now, which is crazy. And all of this stuff is at an affordable price. And when it comes to story, man, do not sleep on sound, because sound design really puts the viewer inside of the world that the character's in. It creates an entire sense of immersion. And a video without sound, think about watching your favorite movie without sound. Like, it would be crazy. So if you guys are looking for a platform to get high quality sound effects, tracks, stock video clips, head over to SoundStripe. There's gonna be a link down in the description for you guys to click on. You can use code YCImaging20 to get 20% off of any of the plans on the website, which is great. Now do me a favor, man, head down to the comment section and let me know if this video simplified the concept of creating a story, because I know creating a story can be super hard, and the majority of the time, it's a lot easier for us to just pick up the latest gimbal, go shoot some smooth shots of some leaves and some buildings and have a person in the shot and then put a track behind it and then upload it or do whatever we're gonna do with it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but stories are what really keep people into videos. All right, so go out, create some sort of short story and use these tips, man. Whenever I need to create a story, I just revert back to this book, all these notes that I've created, and it makes it so much easier for me, man. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop it a like. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I make content about cinematography. So if you're into that, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm out, y'all. Peace.